Hi there and welcome back to my channel, The Wildwood Journal. My name's Casey and I'm a homeschooling mother to 3 boys, and this is our 4th year of homeschooling. And in today's video I wanted to show you what I'm doing for planning for this school year. This is going to be the 2nd year that I'm using the Ultimate Homeschool Planner put out by Apologia. And I wanted to give you a peek inside of it. And then I thought I would sit down and plan our 2nd week of school and let you kind of see how I utilize the planner for our 3 boys and what I put in it. Alrighty, here she is, the Ultimate Homeschool Planner designed by Deborah Bell. There are a few different cover choices that you can pick to kind of customize your selection for the year. Inside there's a nice sturdy pocket that I have already placed some of my supply lists for our curriculum in. They'll be nice and handy while I'm doing my weekly planning. And then there are yearly calendars, and they have it from the academic year July to June, dating back to 2017 all the way to 2025 is when this one stops. So this planner can be used any school year from now up until 2024-2025. Then there's a information page for if you lose your planner or to document, just to record for the year that it's being utilized. And then you get into some of the functional, about pages, your table of contents, a nice letter from the designer, and then some encouraging information about planning, how to not be overwhelmed by planning, but to use it as a tool. Lots of great tips and information for new and veteran homeschoolers, especially if this is your first time utilizing this kind of planner. It even gives you tips on how to build that independence into your students and letting them take ownership of some of their planning, which is great. And they also offer student planners as well. Some tips on doing a yearly planning retreat, so planning your whole school year out and about, all the way out, and then taking weekly planning breaks. And this part is one I'm excited to show you guys about, which I think is just a blessing to have woven into this planner. And then breaks, like checking in with your students and their planning, checking off assignments, things like that. Just lots of great tips on using this as a tool in your family. Now this is like your, plan out your whole year. I don't use this just because we aren't big, we're more spontaneous as a family than we are, we don't plan out these elaborate vacations. We don't plan out ahead large chunks of time off. We school year round. We, hit the ground running in some respects just because we like to have that flexibility throughout the year. If my husband's able to take a long weekend, or the kids and I want to drive out to grandma and grandpa's for a week, we can do that. And so I don't utilize this planning grid. The only thing that we might have some idea of when we're taking some time off already would be around the holidays, but even still, that's not set in stone until closer to those dates. So I don't bother with that. Then there's student goal setters. You can sit down with your students and line out goals that they have for themselves, that you have for them, goals relating to character, goals relating to their academics, and then family priorities. If there's things that you want to write down for the year as a whole family goal, what are things that are on the front and foremost of your family's desires for the year, whether it be activities or growth or accomplishments or experiences, things that you want to put on paper to really try to accomplish for the year. And then your list of resources. So what curriculum choices did you make for the year? Now, a lot of these I don't have written in here yet. I'll probably go back in and put them in because this is, like a journal, so to speak, a scrapbook of some capacity for our year. So I will go in and write those things down here. Before I purchased the planner, I just wrote them on notebook paper. So I will go in and add those later for each of my kids. as a way to document their year for them. And then you have your monthly calendars, and you just go in and pencil in the dates. It's not hard. You could do stamps or stickers if you wanted to, dress it up a little bit, or just keep it fully, just function. Um, Peppered throughout this entire book are quotes and scripture and all kinds of encouragement for the busy mother or parent that may be using this planner, which I think is wonderful. Notes that you can take down of things to do or things you have done, either way. So yeah, you just go in and fill out all of your monthly calendars for the year and write down, if there's days off or appointments or whatever, you can pop those in there. And then we get into the weekly planners. And this is something that I think sets this book apart from several other planners, is because it creates a space to keep your faith and dependence on God in your homeschool as a priority. So to sit down, it's encouraged, like on Sundays, you would sit down and there's a quote or a verse usually in that first section, just to kind of inspire you for that day's planning. And then you write out, like, if you're doing a Bible study, or what's your personal Bible plan for the week? What are you wanting to do with your kids? Things you want to talk about. And then your battle plan. So we know our battle is not against things of this world, but things, a spiritual battle. So we should start every week right there, ready to fight on our knees and let God do the fighting for us. So, what's your battle plan? How are you going to keep your perspective for the week? Is there a scripture that you are finding a lot of comfort or encouragement or strength in for the week? Write that down. For me, this beginning week, just committing your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. Proverbs 16:3. That is where I'm at right now. Just making sure that that everything we're doing is for the glory of God and Him first, and then He will take care of all the details. Your prayers for the week, you can jot them down. Those don't have to be specific to your family. If there are people in your church or community that are heavy on your heart, pop them in there so you know when to go, where to find, who to cover in prayer this week. And then hospitality and outreach. This is something that I do kind of have a goal that our family will do more of, getting out and serving others and making that a priority for us this year. So what are some ways that we can reach out of our home and out of our church to make an impact in our communities? And then a great way to document your homeschool journey. So this week's memorable moments, what things just, blew your socks off with your kids this week? Funny stories, or, victories, progress, promising signs, small beginnings, completed projects, achievements, things like that. You can jot them down here and just have a great way to journal the things that are happening in your school year. And then I love this. Evidences of grace. Where did you see God working in your family this week? Where was He merciful or faithful or protective or providing? Where did He pour out His grace to you and your family that week? And just ways to really keep that foundation of your faith in your homeschool and planning. And then from there, it opens up into your week. And so the layout is all blank. It is completely customizable for your family. So before, like last year when I used this, I did the days of the week up here, and then I did the subjects down below, and I just had my one oldest student that I recorded for, because my other kids were kinder and preschool, and I thought, well, there's no real need to do all of that. I'll just keep doing the next thing with them. But my fourth grader at the time, I really wanted to keep full records of all of his academia. So, but this year I'm going to go ahead and use it for all three kids. And so I've got my students at the top and my days of the week down the side. We have to record hours per our state. And then our subject for the students' day will be listed in these lined boxes. So that'll be like their personal subjects of the core subjects. And then our non-core I have over here because they're things that we typically all do together. So our Bible, extracurriculars like art and music and PE, things like that. And then recording like adventures that we go out and do together as a family or in support of one another. The kids are doing baseball right now. We go to the river, we go fishing, we go swimming, we go camping, you know, all kinds of things that we're wanting to do, field trips. Those will be recorded in that column. And then a place to make notes, things to remember, supplies you need to pick up. I would use this for like the next week. What do I need to pick up for the next week as opposed to this week? Because if I put it here, then I'll forget until like when I need it, and then I won't have it, and then it'd be a disaster. And then appointments for the week that you might need to just kind of keep in front of you. So again, more encouraging quotes and scripture found throughout. And then each week layout is just like that, just completely blank. So you could even like change it up if that is how you start and you're finding out like, I don't really like that. Okay, so another week you try a different layout. And see which one serves you the best. And then you can obviously, if you're one to decorate, go for it. Get some stickers and fun gel pens. I think a pencil is really all I plan to use for this, just because sometimes I need to be able to erase. So lots of, I'm flipping way back here because that's the bulk of this planner is your planning pages, because it's a planner. It's not a all the things to do book. And then reading lists. Okay, so back here I have written down the assigned reading for subjects for my students. So elective reading on this side, these are books the kids have picked that they want to read either like with me or Big Brother or by themselves. And then we have assigned reading by subject. So I have a letter next to like literature, history, you know, what's assigned to their literature, what's assigned to their history. His list is really long. But all those books are shorter books. And then the list goes on and on. And then back here, there's just some more helps and tips on making memorable moments throughout your year as a family. Some things that, you know, wish I knew about homeschooling before I started. Great encouragement, lots of uplifting things to just kind of help you out throughout the year. Different learning styles and thinking skills to help your student. And then this is a sample of the Ultimate Guide to Homeschooling Teens. So ways to help your high school kids. And then a year-end review. So you can review your student, write down things that they, you know, mastered, accomplished, things that maybe you want to try for the next year, you know, whatever. And then some notes. If this I used in some of my planning, that things to jot ideas and things you've learned that work and don't work and what you want to know for the next year. So I highly recommend this planner. It's a great like planner. It is not super frivolous and fancy. It is very functional and very affordable, and I just think it's great. So you'll see me using it throughout the year, and maybe we'll do some plan with me videos.